And she loves for us to be present in that. What's so amazing about cannabis is how she can reveal these gifts when we're willing to look at them, when we're willing to listen. Cannabis can easily be used in different ways, right? That are not so present. And that's really up to us. Like, for example, me using cannabis, I always, my primary way I use it is with the oils and internally. And occasionally your vapes are so next level, so pristine. So the frequency is so high. There's so much love in them. They're the only vapes really that I use now, and my partner as well. And there's this sacred pause, just the sacred pause, that it's not coming from a compulsive, reactive place of using cannabis. It's just the pause that brings me into consciousness. And what I learned from my shamanic studies in different traditions always is that it's not enough just to consume a plant. We can't just be consumers to get the full benefit. We need to honor the spirit and ask the plant for help and have an intention, a guiding prayer or an intention before going in. You know, if we go in with a clear intention, and intention is different from expectation. Expectations are hard and rigid and block what's trying to happen. Intention is just like a sail on a sailboat that will take us somewhere that we need to be willing to go with, right? Yeah. So that sacred pause and clarity is a way to honor her and really receive the full benefits. So I'm curious, was your relationship, did it always begin like this? Or there's been this natural deepening? Have there been mentors in your life that helped you, for example, to learn more about plant medicine? What was the shift for you like over time?
I would say my initial relationship with her was pretty unconscious, and I was seeking to numb and seeking for protection, which she offered me. And as I evolved in my awareness and my relationship to not only cannabis, but all substances, you know, food and sugar and earth and people. And when I started doing introspective work so that I could, my goal was to seek true happiness and true levity and to become my best self so that I could offer that to the world. And I saw that as my greatest gift to the world, was to evolve myself. So when I entered into that mindset, I started looking at things with new eyes. And it was more intentional and it was more transformational. And I watched myself unconsciously smoke her and how I would feel. And if I would say typically the response was not good. It would feel like I would feel lazy. I would want to overeat. I would feel non-creative. And so for me, I actually took 5 years sober. I had substance abuse issues. So it was around that inspired that sabbatical. But in that sobriety, I really learned a lot about myself, and I learned about respecting, and respecting myself transpired into respecting what I was using inside my body. So then when it came time for me to reintegrate, having a beer here and there or smoking here and there, I was extremely aware of the felt sensations. And I was also really, really motivated to not abuse things anymore, and to kind of like lift myself to a place where it was more of a playful relationship rather than the slave relationship. And that was my initiation into respecting her medicine. And as soon as, just what you spoke to, is as soon as I arrived in that vibrational relationship with respect and with setting intentions, then what I received from her was magic, and the downloads were magic, and the creative outbursts were magic, and my sex life just went through the roof. And I was like, okay, so this is what you were speaking to, of when we pause and when we set that intention and when we really arrive knowing her, her true power, we actually get to receive that power. And without that intentional awareness, I wasn't receiving any of the gifts. So I got to have the beauty of the contrast, what it felt like to not be awake to that, and then what it felt like to truly be awake to that. And now I get to pick, and I pick to be awake.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And it's so reflective of any good relationship, right? Like, are we going to reveal our full gifts to someone who can't see them? No, right? There's that whole orientation. And I loved how you brought in the sacred, the respecting yourself, respecting the medicine as a turning point, a place of evolution in your relationship with her. The Bwiti tradition from Africa says that there's really only one law, and the law is that when we abuse nature, the price is misery. And the plant medicines are nature, and we are also nature. So with that realization, which can only come with the ripening of our soul, right? That the realization that we are so sacred, that the plant is so sacred, that shifts a lot. That shifts a lot, and it's organic. You know, it only comes with time. And so you've probably seen a lot of sacred healing miracles over the years with your medicine. I'd be curious to know a couple stories, one or two, that are really profound that you'd like to share.
I have, yeah. It kind of brings tears to my eyes when I think of what's available to people and what people are actually experiencing in this world. Mm-hmm. I've gotten myself to a place where I feel so healthy and happy, and I know that that's possible. And then when I hear clients' stories of, I have this chronic back pain that I've been dealing with for 10 years, and the doctor said I need to have this surgery. And so I had the surgery, and now it's worse. And now I'm on all these pain meds, and the pain meds are making me depressed, and they're ruining my liver. And I'm looking at them, a lot of the people, if they're open to it, I look at them from an energetic perspective. I hear what they're saying, but I'm also watching their systems. And I can see the gaps in understanding from the Western medical physical world, where it's focused on the physical and focused on all these different things that they look at in x-rays, while completely ignoring the other 4 bodies that are in existence in that human.
The layers.
The layers, the mental, spiritual, emotional systems. So I was blessed to pop a seed that was a CBD tonic strain. And I've done phenotype research, which means I start a lot of plants from seed, I grow them up, and then I do trials with their medicine. And this particular strain had so many cannabinoids and so many terpenes. Wow. And my processing was like very low heat, very sacred, very whole plant. And I started to administer in a tincture form, carried with organic MCT oil, this cannabinoid profile. And it doesn't make you feel high, like you're mentally kind of in that high space. It's more of a physical felt sensation. So people are able to take it that are maybe still a little in the fear about feeling high, right? Which makes it almost usable for everyone. And I've had clients that are sharing with me these stories of total physical pain and trauma that will get on this medicine and feel immediate relief from pain and just cry. They'll be like, oh my God, I just slept for 8 hours. I did not wake up in pain. Is this seriously working this quickly and this well? And then I tell them, yes, that's true. It's happening. And I would like you to slowly increase your doses until you literally have no more physical pain. And they don't even have that idea in their existence. They're like, oh, that can't be true. That can't happen to me. And I'm like, okay, we'll give it 6 months and do a consistent, regimen and be consistent about it. And what happens is it's rewinding the inflammation response in the physical system while also working on these other 4 layers of the human body and the mind and the soul. And I have had so many people say, I'm sleeping 8 hours a night now, and I am walking around, and I'm back in yoga, and I'm back running. and this and that and the other. So it brings me to tears to see people struggling and in pain when this medicine truly is miraculous.
Hello again. Here is where we lose Elizabeth. I'm quite certain that she would have had some of her own experiences to share with us. However, as you know, the spirits have intervened and determined that from here on, Scarlett will grace us with her wise words. Just a note for context, Scarlett will soon discuss the Bliss Nectar experience, an event created by Elizabeth and Scarlett which they run in locations across Northern California. The Bliss Nectar experience is a ceremonial journey into sacred embodiment featuring yoga, tantra, and plant spirit meditation with cacao, essential oils, and cannabis medicines from White Fox. Their next event is being held in April. You can find more information on that via their socials or website, which can be found in our show notes. Over to you, Scarlett.
She has definitely become one of my spirit guides, and her and I have developed such an intimate relationship. I speak to her. I have meditations with her. We have game plans that we create together. And when she came to me, and I every tincture I make, I test myself on an empty stomach first thing in the morning to feel all the felt effects. I was brought to tears by taking a full dropper and laying down, and I could feel that this was it. This was it for White Fox. This was it for the world. This was going to be a huge shift for so many people. And it was almost like all of the prayers that I had been praying for, since I was a child, of world peace, let's end suffering. I have Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which is tattooed on my side, meaning may all my words, actions, and thoughts help to end the suffering of the people of this planet. And it was like the culmination of every prayer I had ever had being brought into this physical manifested form that I could then offer to people, that could be this bridge into the, having this prayer made manifest on the planet. And she's one of many bridges coming to us right now, and coming to many other cultivators and many other medicine makers. But she's definitely my partner in this. And I love her. So I feel like the Bliss Nectar experience that we're co-creating will be an energetic imprint. It'll be a place where people can come and be held in what you and I have just spoke to this morning. It'll be that energetic capsule that people can then enter into and really feel what we're talking about, and then really physically experience it. My goal and my intention with it is to hold space for people to feel more and more confident and more comfortable in trusting and living in the unseen. And I'm grateful that that's something that comes easily to me, and my challenges have been living in the seen. So for me to be able to offer what has been given to me as my gift, along with the bridge to help people get there, people will be able to meet Fox Tonic, and they're going to be able to experience her and the other medicines that we make, and to be held in your loving presence that really does hold space for the sacred plant medicine. And even though this has been something that's been a part of my life, you speak to it in a whole new way for me. So I feel like the combination of the two of us holding that sacred space for people is going to be one of the ways that they're going to be able to raise their vibration and then walk through this world with that new imprint, trusting the unseen, trusting the sacredness of the medicine, and then learning how to come to it in a good way. Thank you. Thank you for holding space and for sharing your heart.
That's the end of sessions with Elizabeth Bast and Scarlett Ravin. I'm feeling extraordinarily positive after that. I feel like I'm going to go and run myself a bath with some rose petals and obviously a toke of my vape pen. Setting intentions now. I hope that's what you got out of it too. If you'd like to learn more from these very wise women, you can find their links and contact details in the show notes of this episode and on the Herbalife website. Make sure you give them a follow on social media, and while you're at it, follow the Herbalife as well and sign up to our email subscription for up-to-date info on sessions and tons of great articles showcasing exactly what the Herb lifestyle is all about. A big thank you to everyone listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Sessions.